We get going here in a second. Oh, nice.
Cheese is nasty. Said. Yo.
Hey, Cheese is nasty. How's it going? Looks like I'll have to drag this back over here to the first screen because I'm doing the 2 PC setup. 1 second here. Oh, I know what I have to do. Hold on. I know what I have to do. Hopefully my headset won't die. There we go. Okay, what is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless one of the man, Lincoln Clay. We're back with a live stream of LeMans Ultimate Tuesday. Is the day for new races, new daily races. And today I'm going to do the daily race at Fuji. It's a GTE race, naturally. There is also a multi-class race in the advanced class at the Autodrome. If possible, I'll try to do that race this week also. But today, Motorsports Games CEO Stephen Hood gave us an update on LeMans Ultimate, and most of the stuff that he talked about we already knew. But there was a couple of things that I didn't know about that they did reveal. I'm going to take a quick second to go through this video. This is let me see here, 11 minutes. Yeah, so we can get through this, and I should still be able to register for the next race because the next race is 20 minutes past the hour. Let's go.
Hello again. Welcome to another Le Mans Ultimate update. This release, scheduled for the 10th of June, marks another major milestone on our journey. Our last major update at the end of February brought you a very positively received LMGT3 tyre model, new track layout variations, major heads-up display improvements, as well as new content. The Mustang LMGT3 was added as free DLC for all players, and the release of Pack 4 also brought the latest generation Aston Martin Vantage and Porsche 911 GT3R LMGT3s to life. Since that update in April, as some of you may have been aware, our business received brand new investment, which means that we can continue making, refining and improving Le Mans Ultimate to be the very best of sports car sim racing. This is something that we are internally very proud of, but you, our passionate fan base, have made this possible through your invaluable feedback and very positive reviews. More on this to come in the future. Since launching Early Access, we've been working closely with you, the community, to build and refine the game into something worthy of its name. And today's update is another huge step in that process. From multiplayer depth to fresh cars and circuits, there's a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. Number 1, driver swaps. Finally, we'll be running our first events where you can hand over the car to another player mid-race during our live online endurance events using the new driver swap feature. You will be able to enjoy the strategy and teamwork required to share in a car's success or failure over multi-hour races. After registering for the event as part of a team, which we will cover later on in this video, you and your teammates are able to swap in the pit lane by selecting the next driver in the pit menu of the multifunction display, or MFD. Compared to our previous titles, we have made various core code changes to improve security, performance and functionality. When you join a server, the game knows which car you are participating with, enabling your teammates to configure your pit stops. This has the additional bonus of allowing any team member to resume from the pit lane in the unfortunate case of a technical issue. What's the state of this feature in the release? Well, whilst we have intensively tested this internally with the help of some community members, the large-scale performance testing of servers and driver swap information many hours into a race is not an easy task for a team of our size. Therefore, we are releasing it first only in special events so that we can closely monitor performance and make adjustments in our own environment. We will publish upcoming team-based special events across our social media and in-game channels, so keep an eye on those to find out when these will be available. In future, we will be expanding these races to create new team-based online championships and to leagues via racecontrol.gg and SimGrid as we gain confidence in the feature's robustness. Number 2. Team management. Rather than just allowing one-off entries into races, we've created a team dynamic in Le Mans Ultimate powered by Race Control that allows you to create a team identity and invite your friends into it. You'll then be able to nominate roles for your teammates and assign them to cars or lineups. You'll find teams available in the top right of the navigation bar. From this menu you can see your invites, accept or reject them, or create your own team directly inside the game itself. When creating a team, you'll be able to upload a logo and also a background page for all your teammates to see, which will then be used elsewhere in event pages. Here's a bit more information about the roles that are available. Driver. What it says on the tin. Drivers drive the car, and that is all they do. Engineer. This role will allow a player to be on the server, see data from the car and session, whilst also being able to make pit stop changes, as you can see on the new watch screen that we are making available.
Now that part right there about the engineer's duties, how he can set pit stop. Oh boy, battery's gonna get low soon. But what I'm taking from that with the engineer's duty is that I can assume that I can focus on driving. The engineer can look at the telemetry. He can look and see how worn out my tires are, look at fuel consumption, and then he can make that, he can input all that stuff for the pit stop, how much fuel to put in the car, whether or not I need new tires or anything like that. So I can just focus on driving and because some of these races I have to keep looking down at the MFD, the multifunction display, and set all that stuff. And sometimes it can cause you to miss a corner, go wide, or vice versa. If you're focusing on the road too much, you might put 4 tires on the car when you only meant to put 2, and that's going to cost you extra time in the pits. So I do like that.
Available for team races. There's quite a lot of detail to sink your teeth into. The engineer role, if used correctly, can be an invaluable contributor to your team's success or failure. Manager. This role allows a team member to assign players to different car lineups, assign liveries and register them for races. Team owner. Has all of the aforementioned, but can also change ownership. Everyone can make a team of up to 6 members with one lineup. For those players that want to have larger teams, the team owner needs to be a Race Control Pro or Pro Plus subscriber, enabling the ability to have up to 100 members and up to 10 lineups. Number 3. Custom liveries. Our brand new livery system allows you to upload a livery to apply to a car on a particular team, and then it will be automatically transmitted to all drivers and spectators on a server. For now, this feature is only available for online events, both single driver and team-based. Since this feature requires significant back-end infrastructure and bandwidth to automatically send deliveries across to all competitors, this feature is only available to Race Control Pro and Pro Plus players, but light players in a team-based race where the team owner has a Pro account will also be able to utilize custom liveries in those events. Firstly, head to the livery section from Profile and go to the livery management screen and click on Create New Car and select the model of car you want to create a livery for, and you'll load into the showroom. You can access the templates for the car by following the instructions on screen. The templates are Photoshop PSDs, but are available to be edited in free-to-access editors as well. There are two files you need to pay attention to, the livery file and the region file. The livery file should be made exactly how you want it to look in terms of colours and placements of logos. The region map allows you to map areas of the car to different types of material, such as chrome or metallic looks. Try experimenting with the different finish and effects to get the look you want. Both of these files must be exported as Targa or TGA file to appear in the showroom. Once you're done here, it's time to upload. This then places the livery in the queue for our back-end renderers powered by the race control service. It will automatically for the UI and record it in the database. It may take a little bit of time, but you'll get a notification in the main menu when the process is complete. When you select this livery for your online event, it will automatically be transferred to all the other players on the grid, your paint scheme in all its glory. One warning, however. Players will be able to report liveries in the post-race reporting, and breaking the terms of use for the service could result in serious and even permanent bans from the online service. This is something many of you have requested since launch, and we're thrilled to make it available in all race events. In future they'll be available for private servers as well, but will require pre-registration of the cars you will be driving. Whether you're building your dream design or repping your team sponsors, custom liveries let your creativity shine through. Whilst this feature is only available for online sessions for now, in future we hope to expand this to single player race weekend as well. Number 4. The 2024 season completed. Pack 5, also releasing on the 10th of June, is the final one for the 2024 FIA WEC season. Lusail International Circuit, the opening race of the World Championship, making its debut in Le Mans Ultimate. Utilising the latest laser scan from the summer of 2024, we've built this once again with Studio 397's famed attention to detail. Floodlit and fast, Lusail offers a unique mix of technical corners and long straights, perfect for multi-class racing and offering a unique challenge. Not only that, but we're also adding the short circuit that is likely to be spicy and full of action, as it cuts out the majority of the circuit's slower Sector 2. Joining the LMGT3 class are two highly anticipated cars. Firstly, the Lamborghini Huracan LMGT3 EVO 2, as run by both Iron Lynx and the Iron Dames in 2024, but sadly missing from the 2025 grid. Additionally, the fan favourite Lexus RCF LMGT3 offers a distinct look and feel to the GT grid and will no doubt become one of the most popular cars on track. With this final 2024 pack added, the game now offers a grand total of 11 circuits with 21 layouts, 11 hypercars, 1 LMP2, 4 GTEs and 9 LMGT3s, 25 in total. We hope you enjoy racing them as much as we have enjoyed creating them in all of the painstaking detail. Number 5. Other updates. The LMGT3 tyre model has had another significant refinement, particularly aimed at reducing the potential abuse of slip angle and increasing low speed weight, whilst keeping the stability and predictability of the tyre that you've come to expect. As always, with plenty of feedback from real world drivers, we hope it is something you'll enjoy. Race starts have had a bit of a polish, including the class splits being respected. This means that classes are now correctly grouped together, even if they don't qualify, and class pole position will also receive the best side of the grid.
Now, one thing I like about that is some of these guys that refuse to qualify because they want to do that last to first shit, they're still going to get bunched up with whatever class they're racing in. So if they're in the hypercars, they're not going to be able to try to drop back behind the GT3s and do that last to first shit. They're going to get bunched up with the hypercars. And let me see. Then he was about to say something else, so let him go on.
We've also implemented gaps between classes as well, meaning that by the time the LMGT3s turn up at turn 1, hopefully the hypercars have sorted out their mess. For fuel-saving aficionados, the clutch pedal has now been disabled above first gear, meaning
that I like that too, because there's a lot of these guys that I think some of these daily races were created with the intentions of forcing you to have to make a pit stop, but some of these guys have been getting around it by fuel saving, by engaging the clutch, going around corners. I've even done it for a race before. I was scared I wasn't going to make it because I miscalculated how much gas was in the car, and I started fuel saving on the last lap. and I did lose one place that lap, but I think I still got like a fourth place finish, which I was ecstatic with because I thought I was going to finish the race. But some of these other guys that like count the exact drop this in the fuel tank, some of these guys take that shit to the extreme. So I definitely like that. So because the guy will have to be forced to make a pit stop just like the rest of us. From there, I can kind of strategize on whether I should try to undercut him or wait.
Meaning you'll have to lift and coast normally like the rest of us. Additionally, the fuel tab on the multifunction display, or MFD, has been completely revised so that you can access some interesting information about your consumption and allowing you to set lap targets to extend your stint, with warnings if your engineer doesn't think you will make it. We've also made some significant updates to the game by removing a middleware layer that would often crash but leave no actionable information for the development team. Whilst you won't see any changes here, this change should enable us in future to make more progress with this type of issue. As always, this is just a small taste of the improvements we're bringing with this update. Make sure to check out the full release notes when they are made available. What's next? Here's where I would normally give you a preview of the next update, but this time we're going to do things a little differently. 3 days after this update is due to release, 10th of June in case you've forgotten, on the 13th of June we'll be joining the ACO press conference in Le Mans on the eve of the 24-hour race. Since that's not open to the public, we'll simultaneously release the information on our upcoming plans with a similar video to this one. We just know you're going to love it. Until then, you'll have to enjoy the soundtrack as our first little clue.
I think that's the Valkyrie. I think that's the Aston Martin Valkyrie. So what I'm taking from that is they are pretty much letting us know that, my guess is they're letting us know that the, 1 second, folks. Okay. And let me get LeMans Ultimate booted up. All right, just waiting for the game to boot up. All right, let's get registered for this race. Oh, shit. I totally forgot. Gotta turn on, gotta turn on Open Composite. There we go. We still got plenty of time. There we go. Oh, there is one more thing that I forgot. All right. Now I believe we're all set. Let's get registered for this race. It is a GTE race at Fuji. Let's get registered. My trusty Corvette. And let's see what the leaderboard is. Now, I know for a fact that I have done 139 at this track. I want to say like a 130, like a 139.6 or something like that, which would put me in a decent spot. Okay, we're registered. So, when Stephen Hood left us with that tiny bit, oh boy. One second, folks. Jesus. All right. Okay, finally. When Stephen Hood played us that little clip of that audio, I believe that was the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Once they complete the 2024 season in terms of DLC, the game will be up to date as far as the tracks goes, because in 2025 there were no new tracks added to the circuit, to the calendar. However, today, 2025, the Aston Martin Valkyrie entered the WEC, and the Iron Lynx team switched from the Lamborghini to the Mercedes AMG. So I would imagine that when they give us that update, when they go to Le Mans, he said they're going to be there and they're going to release a video giving us updates of the next move after the 2024 season. So I'm led to believe that the two things that they will definitely announce will be that the Aston Martin Valkyrie is coming, as well as the AMG. After that, it's, Traxi and GG has kind of speculated that they could add tracks and cars from like the European Le Mans series, or which if they did, I think looking over the European Le Mans series, I think the only track that's there that's not in this game would probably be Silverstone, which I would absolutely love that. It would look out of place, but I would absolutely love to see it. So there's that. To add my 2 cents in that, I would love for them to go back and add 2 classic cars, and that would be in the GTE class. I would love for them to add the BMW M8 GTE, as well as the Ford GTE that won their class in Le Mans in 2016 and 2017, if I'm not mistaken. I know for certain they won it in 2017, but I'm not sure if they won it in 2016. But in any case, to bring the BMW M8 GTE to Le Mans Ultimate would be easy, because all they would have to do was port it from our factor and just clean it up a little bit, or maybe not, because the cars in that game still look good. As far as the GTE, I would love for them to bring that car, but I don't know if maybe that's the car that they don't really see the need to go back and do that car, because it's not in the game. I got hold of the car by way of mod. But yeah, I would definitely love to see that. I think it's also, they've even talked about in the past that they could possibly add classic tracks from days past, maybe even classic cars like the Group C cars, like the Mazda 787B or the Mercedes the Sauber Mercedes. I believe it's the C9. Those are two cars I would absolutely love to see in the game. So I think I mean, they sound really, they sound more excited for what they have planned beyond the 2024 season. So they must have really, really big plans. Also, what I'm hoping for when they make the announcement during the LeMans 24 hours of LeMans weekend, I'm hoping that they will make the announcement that LeMans Ultimate will be coming to console. It doesn't matter to me whether it's crossplay or not. I just want to see the game make it to console. Even if it does make it to console, I already know that the PS5 version will not get PSVR 2 support, because I am convinced that Sony will not let any other AAA racing games onto the PSVR 2 platform, because I think the more AAA racing games that would get PSVR 2 support, the less people would play GT7, and that would be a threat to the microtransactions. They won't be making money off the microtransactions if everybody's off playing other games. So because of that, I believe that Sony will not let any other AAA games onto PSVR 2 in order to the ridiculous microtransactions of GT7. So that was long-winded, and I believe that is the reason why F125 did not get PSVR 2 support. I'm convinced that the game will run on PSVR 2 because they're using reprojection. The game's going to run at 60 frames per second natively. And there's not much. Oh, not practice servers. And because of the graphical settings of F125, there's not much difference between low and ultra settings, I think, except for like reflections and lighting and stuff. There's just not much difference. So I think that F125 could run on PSVR 2 at medium settings. I think it could still, so I think you would still get a decent display, and then with the reprojection, as much as I don't like the reprojection, it would still run smoothly because it would be running at a native 60 frames per second with the fake frames inserted in between. So but yeah, I mean, I brought that up because EA has stated that they've tried to talk to Sony about adding PSVR 2 support to F125, and they've pretty much said in so many words that Sony said no. So at this point, at least this generation, in my opinion, don't expect any other AAA games to get PSVR 2 support. And because of that, if you want to race in VR, I would definitely recommend spending whatever extra it would cost to build a PC, because your extra cost is going to be the upfront cost in terms of building a PC versus buying a PS5 or a PS5 Pro. But you'll get that money back on the back end because you won't be paying $80 a year for PlayStation Plus. Let's go. I had to change everything around from the way I had it when I was playing F125 this past weekend. Speaking of which, my F125 streams got blocked globally. They won't even show up in my library. We won't do that again. I was gonna say, please don't tell me I got DQ'd from the event.
time was a 140.49.
Oh my God. This lap is over. Might as well just putt around and save the tires for next lap.
142.53.
Oh, that was horrible.
Lap 140.54.
Yeah, it's going to take me a few more races before I can get into the 139s. But I know I can do it. I mean, I've done it before. So this is likely going to be a 20-minute race. 10, I'm guessing it's probably going to be about a 15-lap race. I will put 16 in there. $16.6. $12.9? Shit. So 13 laps. There we go, 14.6. I didn't hear that. Teams and drivers, please go to the grid for a race start.
Formation lap has started. Green flag, green flag.
42.95. Time 140.99. Lap 1:39.85. Lap 140.12. Time 140.58.
Oh.
time was a 140.35.
He keep locking up his tires, he might actually give me a chance to catch him. But not if I do that. I got a flat spot too.
Lap 146.57. Time 1:41.27.
Hopefully this is the last lap.
That time was a 1:40.52.
Oh, so the race will end here. All right. I was very fortunate to get that 5th place finish. These guys just can't. These guys don't want to wait, and they don't want to sit and wait for things to sort itself out. Are they saying anything in the chat? Ferrari first lap. I report you, Victor. How many Ferraris was? Well, who knows what he's talking about. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 5 Ferraris in here. But everybody's accounted for. Let's see what we got for rank. Excuse me. You have got to be kidding me. I got exactly 0 from that. Expected you to qualify 2nd, qualify 15th, qualified in the bottom half of the results. Damn, expected you to finish second. Looking at these lap times, I don't think I've ever done a 1:38 before. I did a 1:39.8 in this race, which I knew I was capable of that. But I think I'm going to need a little more practice, so I don't want to do another race. I can see by these lap times, I'm going to need to get into the low, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to need to get into the low 139s. So I'm going to have to go back and get some practice in, watch some track guides, and try to get a little bit faster. There's one turn in particular that whenever I go around that corner, I instantly lose 3/10. I don't know what I'm doing that's slowing me down at that particular corner. So I've got some work to do. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. All in all, I'm happy with the 5th place, but according to the ranking system, they said that I should have finished second. So if that kind of expectation is going to be placed on me, I need to get a little bit more practice in. So that being said, folks, I'm going to hang it up. Thank you all for watching. I'm happy with the 5th place finish, or I'm okay with it, but I'm not exactly happy with the way I got it. It came from everybody wrecking and just fighting with each other, and I was just lucky enough to drive through it. So next race, we got to get into the top 5 with our pace and not just being at the right place at the right time. So again, folks, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Until the next time, you all know the line. Wakanda forever, long live the king, and deuces. I might look to do another F1 25 stream this week. Because I want to see what the views look like, and if the views justify it, then I'll try to work it in on a regular basis. So, all right, folks, that's it for me. Have a good one.